Welcome to MATCH B2B Insights, everyone. I'm Brenda, and I'm joined by Brian and Benny Fluman. Today, we're going to talk about something I think a lot of leaders haven't wanted to admit out loud. 2025? It hurt. A lot. Those safe global markets? Turns out, they quietly drained budgets. CAC shot up almost invisibly, and honestly, way too many expansion bets were made just because someone on the board insisted, we can't miss out on LATAM, or let's attack APAC, instead of actually, looking at the data. Brian, can you think of a GTM move that failed this year, but failed really quietly? Like, it didn't even cause a splash, but there's a big loss lying underneath?
Absolutely, Brenda. I think a lot of companies got caught in the classic trap, pushing out demand gen campaigns in a new region, celebrating lead volume, but not looking at conversion. Pipeline never materialized, SDRs were stuck chasing ghosts, and the boardroom still focused on how many demos were booked, not how many deals closed. The quietest failures were often the most persistent. Bad demand gen that just keeps draining the tank because nobody wants to call it.
Yeah, I've seen that. Brenda, your LATAM example reminds me I had a client who was so convinced their Brazil plan would print money. But nobody tracked CAC until late Q3. By then, budgets were done, morale was down, and the supposed hot market had quietly become a money pit. Sometimes it's not the explosive failures that kill you. It's the slow leaks you don't see until it's way too late.
That's the thing. One global market does not fit all. Every country has its own profit fingerprint. If you're not looking at CAC, payback, net revenue retention, sales cycle, and even the trust level you'll get day one, you're basically flying blind. And honestly, with how fast CAC can explode, you can be unprofitable after one quarter if you get it wrong.
Brian, when you look at a new market, like say Eastern Europe, what are your first three must-track numbers?
For me, it's always CAC first. How much does it cost to acquire a real customer, not just a lead? Then payback. How quickly do we recoup those costs? And NRR. I want to know, will this customer actually stick and expand? Sales cycle length gives you the pacing. Trust? Honestly, you can't even model that. Sometimes you learn it mid-campaign when nobody responds. Those numbers tell you if you have a shot or if you need to run the other direction.
I'd add, if you can't get that data up front, you probably shouldn't even start. The days of let's try and see are over. You need evidence, not hope.
Let's make this real for our listeners. CAC, payback period, NRR. Forget lead volume, forget demo counts. These three are non-negotiable now. Every board meeting, every forecast, every country. If you don't have those, are you even leading?
Early in my career, I obsess over lead volume. More leads, bigger lists. But as CFO, one of those really sharp ones, pulled me aside and explained the LTV-CAC ratio. I'll admit it stung, but once I internalized that, I started every new market play with what does a customer cost and what will they bring? Way more effective. Saves time, saves budget, and, it actually aligns the whole team.
I still meet leaders who don't know those metrics country by country. It's like guessing with real money. If you can't pull those numbers, anything else is what? A gamble?
Let's call it out. Germany, brutally long sales, endless compliance checks. France, way lower CAC, higher LTV, deals close faster. UK, it's moving quickly, but ROI is demanded immediately. Japan, relationships first, deals second. And the USA, speed, competition, and good luck standing out if your pitch lands flat.
So if country-level GTM is non-negotiable, why does every marketing plan still lump stuff together as Europe or APAC. Why does that never change?
Is it laziness? Maybe some wishful thinking? I think sometimes people just don't want to deal with how complicated it actually is. But if you do, you see why companies lost in Germany and won fast in France. Or how missing all those Brexit details tanked launches in the UK, even when the product was great.
Let me list the silent killers. Weak win-loss analysis. SDRs parachuting into markets they don't understand. Copy-paste campaigns, only in English, sent to DACH or APAC. Marketing teams chasing MQLs, never mind CAC or actual pipeline. Sales chasing old ICPs because that's how we've always done it. Little leaks, big damage over time.
You know, Benny, I love that you brought up localization. I saw so many Israeli SaaS firms just try to push global with a single message, in English, and nothing stuck in Germany. It's heartbreaking. So much work, so little result.
I lived this. Years ago, we spent months on global campaigns, all English, zero localization. Our German pipeline, non-existent. Expensive lesson. True localization is not optional. Every shortcut will find you out.
The stories say it all. There's this Israeli cybersecurity company that fought through Germany, insanely high CAC, painfully long cycles. But the wins? Sticky, recurring, totally worth it if you stuck it out. Then there's the startup in France. Once they localized onboarding and messaging, win rates tripled almost overnight.
That reminds me. Last year, I worked with a US GTM where everyone assumed product market fit was universal. It was a splashy launch. Fell flat. The fit wasn't there, and by the time the team realized, too much money was gone. So how do you test real fit before betting the firm, Benny?
Test small, test fast. Use micro campaigns. Let data, not your ego, decide. Find those quick signals. Are they opening, booking, talking, buying? Don't go all in just because it worked at home.
Let's talk about loss analysis. Not bad luck, but real, honest data. Why did we lose? Was it pricing? Did the market need a feature we didn't have? Did compliance block us from an entire vertical? Or did we just never earn trust? Leaders should demand this data, from sales, from product. No more hiding behind excuses.
I had a client, a light bulb moment, honestly, once they started real win-loss reviews. Suddenly, they could pivot, fix issues, and by Q1, their pipeline velocity was the best I'd ever seen. The difference was they actually wanted the ugly truth.
Yeah, it's not about blaming. It's about fixing. Go deep. Was it price? Was it product? Was it us? That's the stuff that lets you pivot before Q3 hurts.
AI is everywhere now. They say over 70% of GTM organizations are running AI-driven tooling in 2025. But here's the pitfall. If your CRM and automation aren't aligned by market, you're operating in silos. The days of one dashboard fits all are gone. Firms that integrated AI into country-level CRMs saw opportunity qualifications soar, 33% in some reports. But those who forgot culture, especially in places like Japan or Germany, they saw those workflows burn bridges, not build them.
I spent months tweaking automations for a German launch. All the right data, but the workflow ignored German business etiquette. Cold, robotic emails. Local partner had to rewrite the whole thing before we recovered. AI alone isn't enough. You need local human input to avoid disaster.
I still see the classic battle. Marketing parades MQL numbers. Sales complains the leads are junk. Leadership wonders why CAC keeps ballooning and pipeline stalls. The result? More than a 25% drop in pipeline when teams aren't truly aligned.
You want impact? Share KPIs, pipeline velocity, win rates, CAC per country. I worked with a client in H1. They had to make the tough call, let go of agencies optimizing only for lead volume. But after that, they rebuilt everything with a revenue-first mindset, and their Q2 looked completely different. Aligned teams win, every time.
Let's get specific. In 2026, you cut markets or sub-channels if LTV CAC drops below 2 to 1. You double down where NRR is high, CAC is under control. Launch 90-day test sprints, real KPIs, or you pull out. Checklist. Sales and marketing must both live in CAC, Payback, NRR. Build market GTM scorecards. Budget 10 to 20% just for geo-analytics. No more pep talks, only blueprints.
I just ran a disciplined 90-day budget in Eastern Europe. We thought it was a long shot, but the data flipped everything. New top 3 market. That test paid for itself 10 times over. Quick pilots, not endless debates.
Let's say it loud. 2026 will punish companies that spread themselves thin or just go off hunches. The winners will be those who cut where the data says cut and double down when there's evidence. Can we, as leaders, let go of old patterns, even when tradition says just be everywhere?
I always go back to chess. Sometimes you have to sacrifice a piece, even a key one, to regain the advantage. GTM leaders have to cut legacy spend, even if it hurts, to capture that next high-return market. It's hard, but it's how you win.
So how do you validate a new market without torching your budget? Run a 90-day play. Watch early CAC trends, conversion speed, and don't forget, cultural fit signs. If in 90 days you're not seeing momentum, pause or drop out. If it's working, scale. This playbook saved Israeli firms millions in 2025. Truly. No more blind bets.
It means setting up those testing boundaries from day one. Only scale after evidence, never before. It's hard to be disciplined, but the returns speak for themselves.
Let's talk about ego. Expansion driven by pride, investor noise, or office politics. We need a logo in London, or everyone else is going after the US, so should we, right? That's how you secretly inflate CAC and drag out Payback. 2025 proved it. Prestige markets eat budgets alive, unless you actually have proof you can win there. The ego tax is real.
Can we challenge every exec to ask, are you after what's smart or just what looks good in a slide deck? Markets don't care about your pride. They care if your product fits.
There are danger signs we cannot ignore. Countries with sales cycles longer than 120 days. Markets where building trust means a year on the ground before you sell. High compliance environments. Slow, expensive. Economies where CAC is unstable and NRR is mediocre at best. Being everywhere is poison. Focus is survival.
Absolutely. Every maybe market is an anchor on ROI. Hit pause. Don't wait for a wake-up call in Q3 audits.
Let's get brutal about ICPs. Most firms still have them too broad. Everyone's a customer, so no one is. What happens? CAC goes up, pipeline quality drops, sales cycles stretch. It's a killer.
The shift is clear. You need hyper-specific market-to-persona matching. That's how one Israeli startup in France tripled conversion. They stopped saying SMB and started targeting the real buyer inside only 2 industries. It changed everything.
It's not just product, it's culture, presentation style, speed, formality. German buyers despise what they call the Tel Aviv pace. It feels rushed, untrustworthy. Japan? You need rituals, layers of trust, before you ever get a discovery call. Leaders underestimate how long it takes to earn that credibility abroad.
That's probably the trickiest part. Knowing when to slow down, when to adapt, and not just blast your US playbook everywhere. I've seen more deals die from cultural mismatch than from competition.
Ever wonder why a great product fails in a new market? It's often the messaging. US buyers want hard ROI proof before they'll bite. Europeans, especially in the EU, are more worried about compliance and risk. If your local value prop misses the local pain point, CAC jumps. Micro adjustments in messaging can be the biggest lever most teams miss.
One change, honestly, swap fastest implementation for safest compliance, and your German numbers flip. Little tweaks, huge impact.
Budgets keep creeping up. Let's try another channel. Let's hire more SDRs. But if revenue isn't following, you've just got GTM inflation. I saw firms overhire, run paid campaigns to nowhere, and wonder why CAC got worse. 2026 will require zero-based GTM budgeting, not just what did we do last year.
Every new spend needs to attach to pipeline. No sacred cows. If it doesn't create return, it goes.
Many companies dreamed of the US or Asia before ops were even ready. Entered without sales playbooks, hired reps with no data proof, skipped the foundations. Want scale? Build your sales ops first. Otherwise, you pay for lessons the hard way.
Skipping ops is like building a skyscraper on sand. Sooner or later, things start to crack.
Retention is the ultimate telling metric. NRR outperforms every other GTM stat going into 2026. In 2025, poor onboarding alone killed more deals than bad acquisition. US onboarding is quick and dirty. Europeans expect detail and consultation. Retention by country predicts GTM success. Period.
If you want long-term profit, get post-sales right. It's more predictive than your whole pipeline.
You need a real GTM scorecard. CAC, Payback, NRR, ICP intensity, sales cycle, win rate by country. Weight each by what moves your needle. Leadership uses these to cut or scale markets. Decisions made on numbers, not intuition.
And in 2026, scorecards kill gut feel. You want to win? Trust your numbers. Let them make the hard calls for you.
Every region needs a customized headline. A global brand still has to be positioned for every country. Take Israel's innovation first angle. Sounds great in the US, but it can backfire in risk-averse or traditional markets. Value proposition must adapt. Sometimes compliance-led messaging doubled conversion in Germany, where the flashy tech angle failed.
Remember, what flops in the US might soar in France or Spain. Don't copy-paste. Research and rewrite every single time.
Let's finish with maybe the costliest mistake of all. Pricing. US buyers pay more, pay faster. But if there's no instant ROI, they churn. Germany? You need months-long procurement and strict proof before every cent. France loves bundled 3-tier packages, hates custom quotes. Underpricing wrecked NRR for lots of firms last year. And copy-paste pricing? Just don't. Adjust to win.
Best example I saw, a startup doubled its UK ACV by shifting from a custom quote system to ROI-based tiers. One move, massive lift. The model matters country by country.
All right, I think we covered a ton. 2025 was expensive. But if you listen to the numbers, get granular, act fast, and never coast on gut feel, 2026 can turn the corner.
Agreed. Let's not make these painful lessons twice. Thanks for joining us on MATCH B2B Insights. Brian, Benny, loved your insights. And to everyone listening, keep testing, keep learning. We'll see you with more data and more strategy next time.
Goodbye, everyone. Stay sharp.
Take care, all. Until next time.